giving that lovely introduction as well as giving all the praise. I don't know whether I deserve, but thank you so much for those lovely words. I'm here because Dr. Bharati Sharma invited me here. We have almost a quarter-century-year-old association. I have seen Bharati Ma'am with 3 different organizations and the spirit with which she worked for every assignment. And when I was heading the affiliation department, perhaps that time only she moved to GD Goenka and joined the GD Goenka's fold. And I have seen the tremendous growth achieved by the GD Goenka institutions across the country after 2010 or 2009, probably if I recollect correctly, maybe around that time. She used to come to my office when I was Secretary CBSE or heading the affiliation department with lots of problems of schools. And she has a special knack of getting things done. So I still remember that. So she come with a lot of suggestion, solution. ऐसा करने से कैसे होगा, इस तरीके से करने से. An entrepreneurial mindset, an open mindset. That association, love, and the collaboration brought me here. I thank you so much, Bharati Ma'am, for inviting me to address this August gathering. After 25 years in CBSE, I recently moved to the other school education board in the country, the second largest national school education board, that is the Council for the Indian School Certificate Examination, which was earlier part of the Cambridge. It was known as the Senior Cambridge. In the changing time, I was just listening to Sister Shivani's conversation. I hope you had a wonderful session before, because listening to Sister Shivani is always very, very interesting, encouraging, stimulating, motivating, and inspiring. And the techniques, the peace you derive from your inner conscious and Indian strength, that is what is required for a school leader like yours. As a school leader, the whole ecosystem revolves around you. The vision, the approach, the decisions, the culture you develop in the ecosystem will prevail. In the whole ecosystem, of course, the management will definitely pool the resources and assemble everything and arrange everything. But who runs the institution? Who develops the culture? It is the school leaders. 25 to 30% of schools' culture, achievement, and the pattern of teaching, learning, everything is solely depends on the school head. That is the importance of school leader. Empowering school leader means empowering the institution itself. We need good leaders, particularly in the changing time where every day new things are happening. The technology is fast changing. The way we taught our children in the past cannot be replicated now. Your teaching learning has to be experiential. Your teaching learning has to be assisted by technology. Your teaching learning has to be a collaborative journey by the school head, teachers, parents as well as the students themselves. In the early years, you give them love, you give them formation, and prepare them to get into the formal schooling system, the preparatory stage. Up to class 8, your love, care, everything has to be given to the children, and they should be groomed to be lifelong learners. In today's challenging time, you cannot spoon-feed a child. If the children are restless in the adolescence period, one reason is you are not giving them adequate work. We need to promote self-learning for children. Self-discipline, how to develop attention span in the challenging time. A lot of socio-emotional skilling should happen along with the academic enrichment. Academic is very important, but at the same time, academics alone cannot make a person successful. It is the emotional capacity developed by the child, the socio-emotional skill, mental health, physical health and well-being. That helps a person to be successful. A person should be able to make right choices at the right time. That capacity comes from the ability to apply knowledge in the real life scenario. In the Indian context, that is called the wisdom. If a person is wise, that person will be able to apply the knowledge in real life scenario. So from content to competency, from information to development of skill, that is the shift that is happening in our schools. Gone are the days we teach our children for testing. The reason behind the aspirations for high mark is due to the mark-based admission into the higher educational institutions. But very quickly, that is being changed to competency-based admissions. All the admission to the professional courses are based on entrance examination. I'm not talking about the quality of the entrance examination. There can be difference. But there is a screening process, and through that screening process, admission is happening. And it's not mark-based. Similarly, undergraduate programs also giving way swiftly. And gradually, these entrance examinations will take the shape of aptitude test. Once the aptitude tests are properly implemented, you will be selecting the right candidate for the right course. So that is the change that is expected in the near future. After COVID, technology is used in every walks of life. Every sphere of life is technologically driven. Very fastly we adopted to that change, very quickly, because there was a compulsion. And now there is no going back. And it is good also. Artificial intelligence is taking over the learning area very, very quickly. We should know how to use artificial intelligence in promoting learning. We don't need to be afraid of anything. We need to be masters of technology, not the slaves. So upskilling is a regular phenomenon that needs to be part of our life. More than 80% of the jobs by the year 2030 needs upskilling. If you recollect the skills required for a school head or a teacher at the time of beginning of your career and today's challenging demand, except the youngsters, you will probably agree with me and you yourself will vouch for it. And all these skills and competencies you are gaining over a period of time, that's called the on-the-job training. A kind of trial and error. But imagine a situation where you prepare the children or the young generation or the new generation teachers into that sphere with a lot of skill set, abilities and knowledge for performing their task in the right manner. That is the gap we feel today. Employability of the graduates and postgraduates and professional coming out from our institutions. The connect between the job market, higher education and the school education, that needs to be developed and we need to nurture it. A perfect link through research with the job market and the higher education and school education will help us to produce what is required for the society. GD Goenka is a large institution. You have hundreds of schools and a university. From early years up to postgraduate and doctoral degree programs is happening in the campuses of your institutions. You can leverage this potential. A lot of research can happen. Records should maintain. Every decision of the school heads or the school management should be data driven. What is artificial intelligence? It's only data. If you collect data and if you analyze and use the data, you will be in a better position to take accurate decisions. You can even predict the learning level and learning achievements of students at the school itself. All of you are, in my point, billionaires sitting on large reservoir of data. The holistic progress card, as recommended by the National Education Policy, is nothing other than compiling of data from early years up to grade 12. You will be able to map the performance of children from early years up to grade 12 by properly recording the performance of children in all areas during the school life. How good the child is from early years, how the grooming has happened, how good in various subjects areas, what are the talent and skill set and ability of the child. You can very easily map through an analysis of data supported by an IT system of holistic progress card. Similarly, the key stage assessments, again, a tool to measure the effectiveness of the school system. International assessments like PISA. PISA measures the ability of a 15-year-old to meet the challenges of adult life. There is no direct question from any textbook. It's not at all textbook oriented. Across the globe, across economy as well as across diversity, how good a child is to meet the challenges of adult life. That is the measurement happening through PISA. So PISA assessment basically covers three areas: the linguistic literacy, the arithmetical literacy, and the scientific literacy. These are the three essential areas that helps a learner to be successful in the adult life. Social science and other aspects will only support these key areas of learning. So three components are assessed through PISA. In 2009 PISA, India couldn't perform well. because ours is a growing economy. Centuries we were a colony, and socio-economic condition is not equitable across the society. So in such a situation, a country cannot achieve well, it cannot perform well. If you look into the success stories of PISA, only small countries with a small population is performing well. Just like the Indian slogan, Chota Parivar, Sukhi Parivar. Countries like Singapore, Finland, Estonia, what is the population? Very small countries. Whereas, honestly, United States is not figuring out at top of the PISA ranking. Same is the case of UK, France. But they are not bad also. So the average scoring of children from those countries gives an indication to the health of the education system. The whole world is facing challenges and learning gaps, distractions, threat for the value system. The whole Europe is suffering, North America is suffering because of the degradation in the value system, destruction of the family. There is no population. That is why they are banking on population from other areas of the world. So there is a quick change in the demography is going to happen in Europe as well as the North American countries. So these are all part of evolution. This has happened with India also. 5,000 years back, India was at the top of the world. Then came the downfall. Now again the time for resurgence. And for getting the high potential of that demographic dividend, you need to give right education to your children. You must have heard of a saying, the battle of Waterloo is won in the fields of Eton. The skills, the strategies, the ability to collaborate, ability to work together, ability to live together, these are all developed through schooling. In fact, the strength of the schooling given by the European countries in the 8th century helped them to conquer the world in the 14th, 15th century. Vasco da Gama, he came to India in the 14th century. What helped them to navigate through untested and unknown waters and reach here? Because they wanted to establish direct trade with India. Otherwise, the Persians used to buy spices from India, and they used to resell at a higher price to the Europe. So the king of Dutch, Scotland, he wanted to establish a direct sea route to India. And the first one who ventured into was Christopher Columbus. But while taking the train at the Cape of Good Hope, the African Cape, instead of turning towards left, he turned towards right. That accidentally took him to North America. And after reaching there, he thought it's India. That's why he called the original people of North America as Red Indians. Then the second one ventured into, he was Bartholomew Dias. He couldn't cross the Cape. He went back and reached Scotland, and the king asked him, what happened to you? He said, because of in between the South Pole and the African Cape, there is no obstruction, and because of the strength of the wind, I couldn't cross. So in order to encourage the sailors, the king named that point as Cape of Good Hope. That means once you cross that cape, you will see the destination. And the third one, he virtually crossed and reached India and established trade relation. Rest is history. So the strength of the education given by those countries in the early years, in the 8th century, 9th century, then up to 18th century, helped them to be capable of conquering the whole world. That's what we need to develop through our system. We should develop human beings, education for human excellence, that helps our students to conquer the whole world. A value system that helps our children to remain compassionate and supportive to the fellow human beings, and to remain calm. If there is calm inside, you will be able to do everything. So socio-emotional skill, along with the knowledge and development of skill set, is very important for our children. If they are capable of learning by themselves, sky is the limit. And our role as educators is to prepare them for life and guide them to be learners for the future. Without self-learning, children will not be able to succeed today. And in fact, learning, unlearning and relearning should happen with our children as well as with us at every time. And our life should be a continuous introspection of facts. To remain relevant in your position, you have to introspect a lot. You have to develop strategies. You have to develop human connections. If you buy your colleagues emotionally, there's nothing better than that can happen to you. You cannot threaten anybody today. You have to buy your colleagues emotionally to run a good institution. Similarly, with the help of your colleagues, the teachers, you should have an emotional connect with your parents. And in the whole ecosystem, children should be benefited. So in the changing time, technology is going to play a very big role in shaping up the future of our children. Sky is the limit. And globalization has opened the door for everyone. A lot of children go abroad. And large scale migration is also happening. If you go to UK, in the London city, you will only see Indians. And you can survive without English there. You can very easily manage in London with Hindi or any other Indian language. You will find a lot of people. So, large scale movement of people is happening from India to other part of the world. In fact, in the globalization, one who leaves his homeland and going and conquering the world will only win. The reverse has happened with us. The Europeans left their homeland. Hundreds of them died while exploring the Indian land. They took the challenge and reached here and established trade. And finally they conquered the country. I'm not going into the plus and minuses. But the determination, the courage, the entrepreneurial skill that is developed by a school system can change the whole world. So in the changing time, we need to invest in the development of our children, develop them as entrepreneurs, develop them global leaders to see the challenges of unknown future. In the 18th and 19th century, almost 50 to 100 years changes used to happen. In the 21st century, every day, every hour, new things are coming up. If you buy one Android or Apple phone, in 6 months' time it is outdated. Same is in the case of the automobile industry. Imagine any area. fast changes. So how to prepare our children to adapt, adopt and sail through this kind of a situation? Resilience needs to be developed. And vision to foresee the unseen. These are all skills needs to be developed in our students. And for developing these skills, our children should be equipped with lot of ability to change their approaches, change their mindset, changes in the way they look at things. All such elements should be brought into their character and their habits. So man making should happen through our education, and in the whole process upskilling should happen, and the ability to adapt, adopt and sail through. When I talk about the Council for the Indian School Certificate Examination, it's an organization established in 1958. When privatization was not there in the country, this board was established as a board in collaboration between the government and the private place. It's a society created by individuals with a public character. It's kind of an autonomous body. The country's, some of the most reputed schools like the Doon School, the Rishi Valley, Sri Ram, La Martiniere, the Cathedral and John Cannon, Singhania, lot of mission schools, they are all part of the system. Some of the world leaders like Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, Indira Nooyi, Ratan Tata, Rahul Bajaj, all of them are from the system. Even Salman Rushdie, the Bhutan king, Jingme Jingge Wanchuk, the Oman king, our neighboring country's prime minister, the former president of the Pakistan, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, all of them came out from the Indian system. So Indian school education has lot of rigor and vigor. And CISCE particularly is famous for its rigor, reach and relevance. All the time the curriculum is updated. And the beauty of the system is it leaves full power to the schools to choose the textbooks and materials. The scope of the curriculum is defined and given. And at secondary level, more than 70 subjects are offered, and senior secondary level also, equal number of subjects are offered. And NEP talks about modular examination. CISCE follows modular examination from very beginning. And the innovative practices helps the students to excel in life. Whether you follow any curriculum in India, or even if you follow the international curriculum, the focus should be development of our children. The knowledge, skill set and abilities developed by the children should be given utmost importance. It is not that the brightest should excel. When you raise the bar for the average, that helps the society to grow. So it's very important to look at the backbenchers. When we celebrate success, we should inculcate the habits of analyzing failures in our children. Success and failures are part of life. They should not bow down and they should not be bowed out from life because of any failure. And again, one major gap in our system is lack of research. Out of the total patents registered, across the globe, 80% are from Europe and North America. This is an area we need to invest. So skill lab, innovation lab, all these should be part of our schools. And we should encourage our children to go for innovation and also help them to patent their innovations and their researchers. So once we do that, out of 1,000, 20 may get succeed, 50 may get succeed. But that approach will help our children to develop a habit of going for research and bringing that research-oriented go ahead in the life. It's very important. So if we increase our participation in research area, our children will be able to get more and more patents, and more participation in research and development will get our country a more concrete foundation for economic growth. So in short, our school system should be flexible enough to develop our children to meet the challenges of future. Flexibility in choosing subjects, flexibility in pass-fail criteria, flexibility and adaptability in the teaching learning process, upskilling of our teachers on a regular basis, regular assessments of the school system as well as teaching learning process. And after all, creating an enabling environment where learning thrives. Because learning happens only in an enabling environment. You have to create that environment. And as school leaders, your role is very, very prominent in creating that environment. So together, we can invest in creating an enabling environment in our schools. And in that creative space, every child should get a chance to pursue their passion and career. It's not that what we are thinking is right. The child should be given enough space to choose his career path. So career and psychological counseling should be part of our schools. You must be doing that, but you need to give more focus into it. Once a proper guidance is given, and if every teacher in the school is able to act as a mentor to their students, that fear from the mind of children will go. Rest is up to the child. But in a fearless environment, if learning can happen, that is the best thing we can do for our children. So GD Goenka schools are famous for academic rigor, educational excellence, and sky is the limit. Bring research into your teaching learning process. Use data in taking decisions, informed decisions, and rely more on creating data for transforming the school sector. And together, we can make a brighter India through these innovative interventions. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to address you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this enlightening session. And we have time for 2 to 3 questions from the audience, because some of our school leaders are very curious about certain aspects of things that you shared. So if there's any question, sir would address. Kevin, sir. Dr. Kevin Brady is the principal at GD Goenka Vasant Kunj, our flagship school.
So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. One of the pieces that you had brought up was data. And so data-based decision-making and data-based planning, sort of taking a scientific approach to getting the most out of all of our students and ensuring that they're successful regardless of where they come to us, I think is very important. You mentioned briefly that our relationship with data has to change. Do you see that happening on a broad scale, or do you see that happening at individual schools? How do you think the movement towards a more data-based sort of approach takes place?
So the data-driven decision making, as well as data collection and using of data, which is not happening in a massive way in our system. We need to develop that habit. After the school-based assessment, from early years up to grade 12, we collect a lot of data, but we don't preserve it. And with the help of technology, now we are in a position to preserve data. So by using the preserved data, various decisions can be arrived at. Not only with regard to the career path or the learning path of the learner, but by analyzing the data, you can also make out the training needs of the teachers. The PISA kind of assessment, it says sample assessment, not a census assessment. But it gives lot of insight into the socio-emotional and socio-economic aspect of a country. Similarly, in the school, for example, after analyzing the data of the scoring of children of grade 8, for example, if a school is having 8 sections, and out of that 4 sections are doing extremely well and 4 sections are not doing well, then the reason could be not the problem of students, it could be a problem with the teacher. Similarly, qualitative and quantitative analysis of data can help you to design the curriculum transaction, the learning path of children. Everything is possible. So we need to give importance for data collection and its use. So it should become part of our school culture. The examination data available with the school boards, grade 10 and grade 12 data is there. Similarly, now the key stage assessment SAFL or the CISCE SHINE, this data is also available. So these data can help to identify the learning gap. So you can also compare the performance of students in grade 3, then the achievements at grade 5, how the progression has happened at grade 8, grade 10, grade 12. A cumulative mapping of performance of children can also be made. So all these data analysis will help you to make various inferences to arrive at informed decisions, which we need to tap and we need to use it. Very accurate decisions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do we have another question? Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Priya Chauhan, Principal of Sector 10A, GD Goenka Branch. I have a very simple and very basic question. We talk about European schools or European children doing more research. From our side, very less research is done. You have also discussed about the population being very high in India. So my concern always remain regarding the syllabus that we as CBSE or NCRT bring in the school. I don't know how much it is possible, but I believe that when children are in the classes, our teachers, they more focus on completing the syllabus. We talk about, whether you talk about 8, 9, 10 grade, teachers are just running after the syllabus. So where is the time left for doing that constructive research? Because the children, they are also into learning, cramming and gaining marks, wherein now we know in the entire world what is happening. It is the skill which is actually helping the children in life. We also speak about critical thinking, confidence, their leadership skills and everything. Can something be done wherein we just reduce a bit of the syllabus, because many of the chapters, they are wherein we are just doing and cramming rather than the research work and the activities that is left. So I personally believe that our children, that actually they are still in the rat race. If we compare to other countries, we are giving very less time to our children and to our teachers, wherein, you know, being the principal, I am also after them, complete your syllabus, give me results. So results are actually, you know what, they are cramming. They are not understanding. That is not helping them in life. What is helping, like in the last session, Shivani Didi was there. So she was talking about the implementation of lot of stuff in the classroom teaching and with the parents, wherein I always tell them that your children, if they are scoring 95% marks and after 2 years they are committing suicide, what is the point of that education? So in our school, we do incorporate that, but here all the leaders are sitting here, and with due respect to you, sir, I want something to be done in that, wherein we could actually inculcate a lot of confidence, lot of leadership, lot of critical thinking, lot of research, which actually help our children to come up to the level with the world, and they could actually succeed in life. For us, success is not becoming only an IAS officer or sitting on some high profile jobs.
Thank
it is
you.
like whether
Thank
they are,
you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sir will answer.
Thank you so much.
You can keep your question
So now
brief.
let me ask a counter question. You know, who will do this?
Of course, we all.
That's right. Only you can do. Nobody else can do it. We need to bring a mindset change. As of now, we are obsessed with that syllabus completion phobia. Every parent, every school head, every teacher, every child, everyone is under that syllabus completion threat. How the syllabus completion got this much prominence? The mark-based system. Our parents, our system only understands the mark. We are not looking at any other aspect. So the ability, skill set, attitude, aptitude, socio-emotional skills, all are taking secondary level prominence. What does it mean? Teaching to test. We are not teaching our children for life. So this is the biggest problem which the Indian education system is facing. And school boards, whether it is CISCE, CBSE, State Board, IB, IGCSE, whatever curriculum you may follow, only the schools can intervene and make corrective steps. It's only with you it will become possible. So the mindset change should happen with every institution, institutional head, then it percolates down to teachers, parents, that communication with the parents. Parents will also argue with you.
Yes, they do.
If we do not get mark, where our children will go? They should get into higher educational institution. They should crack entrance examination, because these are all typical the middle class mentality. But who will make that change? Who will bring the necessity for change? Who will create that awareness? It should start from you. And as far as research and patenting, we are not giving focus for that area. Even laboratory activities, many schools will just complete it as a formality. Whereas learning by doing, encouraging children to participate in various projects, research, patenting, all should become part of our schooling. So as a culture we need to develop, inculcate this habit. Then only we will be able to bring that change, which is missing here. How long we will blame the Europeans or the British for the failure of our system? Because now conveniently we say we inherited from the British legacy, so we are following that rote learning. How long we can blame them? They came here, they looted us and went away. Now it's with us. We should bring that change. So let us begin now. The national education policy is focusing for that, moving away from rote learning to competency-based education. What is competency? For creating the ability in every learner to apply the concepts in real life scenario. We teach measurement to our class 3 children. But these children are measure the size of a classroom, size of the school campus. They are not able to imagine the distance from their home to their school. So if teachers can make that connect with the children, so experiential learning we need to bring into our classroom, only things will change. And for bringing that experiential learning, lot of capacity building is required for our teachers. From rote learning to focusing on skills, upskilling and developing attitude and good mindset. All these should become part of our school culture. And you can only do it. So please initiate that change in your institution. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. We have a question here.
As in school owner, sir, can you just tell us a difference about from the other boards which are there in the country and this board, CISCE?
Yeah, I'll try whether I can make a clear differentiation. Yeah.
Because many of us are, CBSE boards owner, CBSE.
So
board
let me
schools.
talk about CISCE. The Council for the Indian School Certificate Examination was established in 1958. After independence, even before independence, it was existing in the country as part of the Cambridge University. And in 1958, then Indian government, the education minister, Dr. Abdul Kalam Azad, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, he called a meeting of the educationists and said, the country become independent and we should not continue the old legacy. That was the beginning of creating this school board in the country. And from 1958 till 1974, though an Indian board was formed, the examination papers used to be developed by the Cambridge University and evaluation also used to happen in Cambridge University. And from 1974 onwards, it has been evolved completely as an Indian board. And it is recognized by the Delhi School Education Act. This is the only board which is recognized by an education act. Not formed, it's an autonomous body, but recognized by an education act. Similarly, the Ministry of Education, Government of India, has recognized this board as one of the national board. Why this board came into existence? At the time of independence, all the legacy schools like Doon School, Mayo College, the Cynthia School, the Bishop Cotton, the North Point School, La Martiniere, all the legacy schools, near about 158 legacy schools, they were part of this council. And many of the national and international leaders studied in the schools affiliated to this board. And from 1973, it is functioning as an independent board. But the board is focusing on quality education. Three major areas: rigor, relevance, and reach. That is the underlying principles of this board. And the English language skill. Though the three language policy and other policies of the government is being followed, the rigor of the English language is something unique with the CISC. You can make the difference. I'll tell 2-3 alumni of CISC. Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, Sunil Dutt, Nargis Dutt. You see the reach of this board and the value system practiced by the students like Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata and Rahul Bajaj, they were the alumnus of Cathedral and John Cannon, Mumbai. Even Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Salman Rushdie. Even the present Chief Justice Chandrachud. The politicians like Arun Jaitley. You can make a difference. The value system and the ethics, integrity, and the quality of the people. This is what CISC is promoting. Board is not believing in adding more numbers, but the quality, the rigor. Indra Nui, Satya Nadella. Satya Nadella is from Hyderabad Public School. HPC, it's one of the legacy school established by Nizam of Hyderabad, in Hyderabad, heart of the Hyderabad city. It's in around 100-acre campus in the Hyderabad. And many chief ministers of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they are all alumnus of that school. So there is a legacy behind CISC curriculum. At the North Point School, Darjeeling, almost 80% of the students are foreign nationals. The country is aiming to bring foreign nationals to India to promote Indian education, which is already happening in our system. And the absolute support from the council to the schools. Full independence, no interference. You are setting the standards for yourself. You have to aim for excellence. The council will only facilitate you. There is no control. It's a journey together. And that is why the council has not focused for increasing the number very much. But at the same time, good schools. For example, even in foreign countries, the best Indian curriculum school in Dubai, Gems Modern International Academy, it's a CISC school. The topmost 4 international Indian curriculum schools in Dubai are CISC schools. And in Malaysia, Indonesia, government schools are part of CISC. In Thailand, one of the schools run by the Thai government with 2,000 children are affiliated to CISC.
If I'm a owner of a CBSE school or at a board, how do I transition into CISC? And of course, I will have anxiety of, my parents, what will they think of this decision? Will there be backlash? If I'm already an existing owner of running a state board or a CBSE board.
Yeah, I got the point. The norms of affiliation of CISC and CBSE are almost the same. Being a national board, the school should have an NOC from the state government. The school should be run by a society or trust or a Section 8 company. All these are common between boards. CISC grants affiliation even with less land. The land norms are per se, that 2-acre land norms are not followed completely. If the school is having all the facilities, infrastructure and the good faculty, even with less land, less than 2-acre also, affiliation is awarded. And for switching over of schools, the requirement is getting NOC, modified NOC. Once a modified NOC is taken by the school management, the rest of the formality is only, completion of the formality. It's very easy to complete. So you have to get a fresh NOC, from the state government, state education department. Because being a national board, education is in the central list as well as in the concurrent list. In every state, school is supposed to get affiliated to the state board. But national boards are also there. So the state government has to issue NOC. Suppose if you are having an NOC for CBSE, that needs to be modified in the name of CISCE for getting CISCE affiliation.
You are getting associated to
CBSE also, yeah.
Can you please tell us the limitations that the school is having at this moment of time? The parents are after the school की मेरे बच्चे को डांट किया, मेरे बच्चे को मार दिया, डिप्रेशन में चला गया, उसको ये फैसिलिटी नहीं दी, वो फैसिलिटी नहीं दी. क्या इस तरह की रिस्ट्रिक्शंस जो है इस बोर्ड में भी हैं, ICSE बोर्ड में भी हैं?
No, we don't have any such restriction. We don't get into.
It is there in CBSE, no?
It's not like CBSE. CBSE, the problem is being a government's board, the board is under tremendous pressure to intervene. Whereas in our case, our stand is very clear. Every affiliated school should follow the norms laid by the state government in the day-to-day running. We don't get into the day-to-day functioning of the schools.
So it means कि RTE is compulsory because it's the state.
RTE is compulsory.
It's compulsory.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So very simple question. Good afternoon. So CISCE and IGCSE, they both come from that parent Cambridge curricula. There's a race to move towards foreign boards. So if we go in for CISCE, is it as good as going in for IGCSE, or will the parent and the student get the same value because the core is the same?
Yeah. So as of now, the challenge is CISCE is not providing specialized curriculum or this course for the early years up to grade 8. But council is in the process of developing FIP, that foundational year program, and primary program and middle school program, so that it can be given as a package to the affiliated schools. Whereas the IB and IGCSE have these programs in place. But that is a gap in the existing system. But we will be coming out with these 3 programs in the year 2025, so that these facilities can be easily made available to the affiliated schools. One of the major difference between the foreign board and Indian boards are only concentrating at secondary and senior secondary level, which is a gap, which we have identified, and we are engaging some of the international experts in developing these programs, which will be rolled out in the year 2025. Once that is done, there is hardly any difference. And at the same time, the children of the CISCE who are going for the foreign universities are benefited with 1 semester creditization because of the English language. Most of the universities provide that 1 semester creditization to the students of CISCE schools because of the higher English language proficiency. So certain advantages are there, but these gaps of early year intervention up to grade 8, there is a gap which we are going to address very soon.
Thank you. That's the last question of the session, please. Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Neha.
I just have one last question.
Let Neha ask a question because she was my colleague also earlier. So one special privilege.
Thank you for that privilege, sir. Just one simple question in continuation for with what you just shared. So the packages that are being developed by CISCE, now will that also give schools a liberty to pick and choose like it is done with IB and IGCSE, and will we be able to run 2 boards?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It will be up to the school to use it.
As a
Yes, ma'am.
One question, that can we run, can a school run CBSE and I don't know, ICSE and CBSE school? in the
Whether
same
it can
premise?
coexist, yeah. See, it can coexist. As far as CISE is concerned, we are very liberal. But CBSE may create problem for you. CBSE doesn't allow that.
So if you put a boundary,
That is possible. That is possible. You have to have a clear demarcation. See, what I'll tell you, ma'am, because even before coming to CISE, I was also not knowing fully about the board. After joining CISE, I came to know about the best practices followed by this board. The modular examination, the rigor of the curriculum. For example, if you take it as a burden, you will not understand the importance of the curriculum. For grade 8, 9 and 10, physics, chemistry, bio are being taught separately by specialized teachers. And because of that, the rigor is going into the children. That's very, very strong. And at the same time, to reduce the burden on children, modular exams are conducted. Instead of a 3-hour long paper, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, small paper. So that reduces the stress on children. Similarly, social science, history, civics, geography, these are all separate papers. There are 2 separate papers. So that unburden the children. And you can see the n number of examples, like Jiddu Krishnamurthy Foundation School, the Rishi Valley, one of the unique schools in the country. All the valleys schools are part of CISE. And in CISE, once they come, other than, the schools fall under the local pressure, there was a perception in between that, CBSE curriculum is more tailored for cracking entrance examination. It came as an accident because CBSE was conducting entrance examinations, both medical and engineering, for 20 years. So in the tier 2, tier 3 cities, parents naturally developed that perception that curriculum is most suited for entrance examinations. That is why the CBSE schools become very popular. Whereas from the side of the CISE, nothing has been done to counter it. CISE was the official examination board of Government of Bhutan for 20 years. 20 years CISE was the official examination board of Bhutan. Even the Uttarakhand government's pre-medical entrance examinations were conducted by CISE. These facts are not available, not known to anyone. It's also a very strong board with a strong legacy. And the schools once came to this fold never go back. You see the legacy schools under the ambit of the CISE, all are very good. Except Delhi, all the 30-40 schools of CISE were switched over to CBSE in the 80s. When Father Tom Kundangal was made chairman CBSE, with him, all the CISE school, he was the principal of St. Xavier's Rajnivas Mark, where Mr. Arun Jaitley studied. So when Father Kundangal was made as the chairman CBSE, all the schools, including DPS Mathura Road, the Springdales, St. Columbus, Jesus and Mary, you name any good school of Delhi, old legacy school, all of them moved to CBSE. That's why there is very less presence in Delhi. CISE has very less presence. But that's not the case with the Calcutta schools, Bangalore schools, Bombay schools, Dehradun. In all these places, all the most sought after schools are with the CISE. Yeah.
Sir,
Yes,
one
sir.
last
Thank you so
question,
much.
sir.
Thank you so much, sir. You've given us a new target. And because again, as an English teacher, we would love to do the same ISC level English, because CBSE, sorry to say, is a little depleted in English content. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us and giving us the information. And we do have a new target to achieve. Thank you so much, sir.